Now, these vibrations we now have are called sound waves. So you have this mechanical disturbance that's causing physical vibration of the particles, and it propagates out through the medium in a process called compression and rarefaction. The compression and rarefaction creates high and low pressure zones. So if you imagine a guitar string being plucked and it vibrates back and forth very, very fast, this causes vibrations in the medium, being the air, to propagate outwards. It'll create zones of high pressure and low pressure from a process known as compression and rarefaction. If you look here, you can see the dots are much denser at the source, and that's your zone of compression. That creates a high pressure zone. Then as your guitar string pulls back, that'll create a low pressure zone because it's dragging the air back with it. And that is a process called rarefaction, which is below your average pressure. Compression is above your average pressure. If we look at this chart here, it's actually a really good chart. It shows you an example of a waveform that you will be seeing all the time in your DAW, your digital audio workstation, which I recommend Pro Tools, which we'll talk about later in the course. So on your x-axis, you have your distance. On your y-axis, you have your average pressure. In the middle there, where the x-axis meets the y-axis, that is average pressure. So the green line is your waveform, your sound wave. And once it dips below the x-axis, that's below average pressure, and that's your low pressure zone. And then it'll kick back up as the vibration kicks back. And above the x-axis is your compression zone. That'll be above average pressure. And the size of this waveform will depend on the amplitude of the sound. So it'll all be different sizes in your DAW. I'll just briefly go over now how the human voice produces sound. So you have sound coming up from your lungs. The air hits your vocal folds, which are two little muscular flaps. Once it hits the folds, it'll produce vibrations like zones of compression and rarefaction, which we just talked about. There's two more processes after that, and that's resonance and articulation. Resonance and articulation produce the spoken word. So the resonators are the throat, the mouth cavity, and the nasal passages. And the articulators are the tongue, soft palate, and your lips. And the articulators are what produces the recognizable word. So you can just look at yourself talk, and of course you can see your lips moving.